Hey guys, it looks like I'm here and don't know what I'm doing. There's a reason for that, because I'm here and I don't know what I'm doing. However, that's okay with me. We're winging it, guys, as always. A little twinge in my back. Been a rough day today, physically. Um, in just a little bit, our friend Ms.Blipper is going to come up, and we're going to talk all things Course in Miracles. I don't know what. Hey, Ellie. Hi, Kat. Kat says number one like is done. Thank you, Kat. Um, I am furiously reaching out to people. By furiously, I mean a few. It feels furious to me. I don't do things in big, like excessive things, at least not any longer. I had a great talk with somebody about inspiration today. You'd say, you know, I don't want to say too much. Miss Pepper's going to be up, and she loves to use the term universal inspiration for the Holy Spirit. Um, I sort of apply inspiration a little bit differently. Inspiration not being separate, as nothing really is, in my view. Um, but there's a creative force at work. The inspiration for the universe itself, the thoughts of whatever higher source coming to us. And it is always whispering. It's always telling us, giving us this silent urge to create. Although I have had actual words appear. Everything I write is inspired, meaning I really have no idea where I'm going to go. And the words always come to me. They always fill the page every day because I expect them. Ellie says, how's everyone? Everyone is good. Kat says, I love the time you'll be here with Miss Blipper. Me too. Hey, Dolly. Says, I love the time you'll be here with Miss Blipper. That was me. Dolly says, you bring meaning to my life. You're the inspiration. Thank you for singing Chicago. Miss Blipper says, yay, Kat, you bring such great energy. She sure does. Hey, Keith. Keith says, good afternoon. As your peace and comfort flows. Thank you, Dolly. All right. Without any further ado, hey, Lee. This is how you, Yogi. Lee, I'm pretty good. We got some amazing stuff coming up. I said without any further ado, and then I decided, you know what, let me add a few things. I've been adding this quite a bit. I'm gonna add it again. We got some big things coming up for me. I'm a little overwhelmed with some people I've long admired who are willing to come up and have a conversation with me. I'm always overwhelmed the fact that Miss Blipper will come up and have a conversation with me about the thing we both love and have practiced for a very long time. I'm very overwhelmed that our friend Squirrel Sniper will take the time to talk about the things that he loves. Tonight, an old friend. She has PhD in psychology. She's a transpersonal therapist, and she has founded Soulful Sojourners, which is about empowering women, specifically for her, women over 60, but as she said, women. But this is for men too, because you want to be a soul supporter. You want to support the women in your life. You want to be someone that can actually, hey Tandra, can be the bedrock of support for someone who is, hey Vamps, Goldie's here. Hi Anna. Does that make sense? You talk about there's no such thing really as women's issues, although there certainly are women's issues. But what I'm saying is a woman's issue isn't separate from a man's issue. They are different or unique to them, but they are not separate. Meaning, when one person suffers, when one person is not empowered, no one is. Everyone's limited. She's going to talk about all that tonight. I was going to be right back. 5:25. Wednesday, Lucy is going to share the story of Lucy. It's going to be pretty big. Hey, Heavenly. Heavenly, how are you? And Friday, an ultra running friend of mine, a superstar ultra runner. He's done a ton of 100-mile marathons, all in sandals, all barefoot sandals. He uses ultra running and he used cancer as his spiritual path. He was diagnosed with cancer. Hey, old dog. And he changed everything in his life. Old dog says, Lucky, you don't need to worry about hair like women do. This is true. One less worry in my life. Heavenly says she's doing fine. And then Saturday, Goga. Everyone loves Goga. He's going to be up. More big things the following week. And we'll see what else. I have a list. A big list. And I'm checking it twice. Anyway, so as I was saying, without further ado, if our friend Ms.Blipper would like to pop up, and let's get started talking all things in Course in Miracles. Hey, and if there's someone here, hey, Johnny Cash, is there someone here who hangs out with us that you would like me to invite to come up and have an in-depth one-on-one conversation with? Let me know. I'm not talking about a 5-minute come on up and say hi. I'm talking about come on up and let's talk the big talk. You know? And here she is. He says, there's a way to straighten your feet, Yogi. Did you say your friend barefoot runs? Or just lots of running and endure the pain? There is a way. Let's save that question for Friday, Lee. Let's talk to the barefoot runner himself. Right now, let's talk to the incredible, the lovely Ms.Blipper. One of my favorite people to talk to. How are you?
Good, I'm well. How are you?
Good. You know what? It's been about a year since we started talking with the breath work and the meditation. And it was funny that we started with the breath work, but you quickly became someone that I just valued talking to and hearing your insights and your path. And I'm glad that we can keep that up, you and I.
So nice of you to say. Yeah, no, it's been great in both directions. Learning a lot. Both, I think, have kind of gentle approaches, non-dogmatic approaches to learning.
Right. And it's easy to get stuck. I'm glad you said that. It's easy to get stuck in a dogmatic approach, even with the Course of Miracles. But in the end, in the Course, you're basically told it's just a book. What matters is what you do. Are you forgiving? Are you kind? Are you able to choose love in each and every moment? The Course gives you a blueprint. Hey, Jace. Jace, how are you, my friend?
Hi, Jace.
And hey, Anna. The Course gives you a blueprint. Hey, Joe. But it doesn't say, hey, adhere to every single word. At some point, do you think you're going to let the Course go and just live it?
Oh, I think I do that quite a bit already. But I have been thinking about this subject lately, about kind of like paying attention a little bit to not make an idol also of the Course, because that can be just another like distraction from just kind of connecting, being present.
Can you explain to people what you mean by idol?
By idol, I mean kind of placing eh, things outside of oneself. It's this person, it's this book, it's this method, it's this approach, it's this language, it's this connection. And I think it's actually in truth, love or truth, either one, the same thing. Light is very generalized. It doesn't need all of those crutches.
Do you have any examples of a idol?
Well, like we were just saying, I think sometimes I do idolize the course, like because I love it so much. I love how it's like written and stuff, and
Right.
it's been a way of setting it up, and it's good for me to remember that other people are on paths that are different but equally valid.
Right. I love how the course says that words are but symbols twice removed,
Hmm.
because it echoes the Tao Te Ching that says the Tao that can be told is not the true Tao. Um, and in Zen, they say, don't confuse the finger for the moon.
Right.
The wise man points at the moon for realization, um, and the fool goes, oh, wow, the moon looks just like a finger.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah, they're tools. These are
exactly.
all tools, and it's like, again, what's really going on inside a person, um even in a very personal way, is kind of the active ingredient, the principal ingredient.
Let's see if anyone has questions for Ms.Blipper.
You see, Love Our Toy Pups is there.
Yeah.
Oh, and then Sniper's there too. Squirrel Sniper. Chipmunk, as I call him.
Um,
Sissy's here too. Hi, Sissy. I love Sissy's channel.
Me too. I'd like to, when she's ready, never any pressure, have Sissy come up and give a talk as well.
Wonderful. Whenever she's ready or wants to, yeah.
Are you familiar with John Mundy? Any of his books?
I think I've met John Monday, tell you the truth.
I'm hoping in the upcoming weeks that everyone will get a chance to meet John Mundy,
Oh,
as
good.
I've reached out to see if he wanted to come up and have a talk.
How fun is that?
Yep.
That's so great.
I've decided not to, I never want to prepare for an interview, no matter who it is. I want every conversation to be like you and I. And you've been a
Hello.
you've been a big inspiration for that. We both come from our points. Neither one of us, you said, are dogmatic. We don't need to prove the way I see this is absolutely right. Why can't you see it my way, Ms.Blipper? There's 1,000 insights that can be provided for any one particular part, of the course. And there's different school of thoughts in the course. Is the course non-duality is a big I see nowadays.
A lot
And
of people really get glued into the metaphysics of the course too.
right.
It's not my.
Um, and of course, Kenneth Wapnick is very much uncompromising, uh, was uncompromising in his teaching because, but at the same time, also said, let it go in the end. Let it
I
go.
did. I also met Kenneth Wapnick actually in Los Angeles. I went to like a miracle convention, but this is like, I want to say in the early '90s. They had some sort of convention in Los Angeles that I went to, and he was there, and John Mundy was there as well. And I he was the nicest guy, Kenneth Wapnick. He was just a really nice guy. I don't agree with, I don't. It's not that I disagree. I just don't. His approach is a little bit different than my approach. Like I think he's got a lot more structure in his approach than me,
Right.
perhaps.
Now he simplified a lot for me, and I want to get into that in a minute.
Hmm.
But Lee has a question. How does the
Okay.
course deal with tension or potential conflict? Does it steer you towards trying to resolve peacefully or choose different path?
Resolve peacefully, I would say. I don't even know what choosing a different path, what that means exactly. So he's asking about conflict, like how does the course deal with conflict?
Yes. Is there a suggestion from a course perspective on dealing with a situation involving conflict?
Okay. Yeah, sure. I think the 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 first thing is that you're not that people are not is there's a way to see where whoever or whatever it is that you're dealing with that's outside where the conflict is. It's almost like a mirror. That would be you. What would be your best response if that was you?
Right.
What was
Um,
the most gentle way? You'd want somebody to be kind, gentle, generous, gracious, whatever.
because I've been eyebrow deep in Kenneth Wapnick lately, and we were talking about him from
Hmm.
the perspective that I often read that he offers is doesn't matter in the outer form. You might punch someone in the nose, but the thing is, be aware that you're punching someone's nose. Being aware that you chose the wrong teacher, because if you listen to, it breaks it down very simple. You have the choice of listening to your ego, which says punch him in the nose, or listening to the Holy Spirit, which might have a host of um, solutions, all of them being peaceful, all of them being quiet, all of them being loving. Um, and the key is um, you do what needs to be done to fix conflict on the outer form, but in your heart, no matter what you do, you're always choosing love. So it might appear that what I've done in level of form might appear to be unloving, but it might be the best possible solution for that problem as I can see it. But in my heart, I'm always turning towards the Holy Spirit or universal inspiration and saying, um, asking for help. Can I see this another way?
Sure.
That's so huge, is just asking. It's what the miracle is all about. Can I see this another way? So whatever conflictly, can you see it another way? And I don't, obviously we don't know the answer to what that seeing might be, but we do know there's always a different way of seeing conflict.
It's an invitation. You make an invitation.
Right. Kat says, why did I skip her question? She knows why. Actually I did not see it, Kat. Um, our friend Keith says, do you have a favorite method to shift your emotional state for a more effective mindset?
That's a really, really good question. I think you just answered it before. It's the same thing with the invitation. Like, is there a better way? What would be a better way of seeing the situation?
Um, Keith, does that make sense? That I don't think there's a thousand techniques. I don't think there's one particular technique. And in the end, I don't think the technique itself matters as turning it all over to, for right now, let's keep saying universal inspiration, because I think some people hear Holy Spirit and they think, well, I'm not religious, I'm not Christian. And they end up throwing the baby out with the bathwater. But who doesn't want a voice of universal inspiration whispering in them in any moment that we ask? To give us a more effective mindset. The more effective mindset for me is always going to be one that's at peace because you
Yeah,
relax.
yeah. Letting go of judgment, if possible, is a good thing too. Like, just not necessarily being, and this goes together with asking help of a universal inspiration or there must be a better way. It's like, am I really so convinced of how I'm seeing things? Am I judging things in this situation? Maybe.
I hope that was helpful. I'm looking for Kat's comment, but I don't see it.
I don't see it either.
Can you ask it again, Kat?
Mint chocolate chip balls. That's a funny
Hey,
name.
Richard. That's our friend Richard.
Hi. Mint
Let's
chip.
see.
That's my brother's favorite flavor of ice cream.
Mint chocolate chip. It is good. It is good. Richard, how are you, my friend? Richard says hi to Ms.Blipper. These are great questions, guys. I hope they proved helpful. The thing is, we love techniques. You know, everyone wants a short and true way of handling any situation. Do this. I love things that say do this. I love workout programs that say that take all the thinking away from you. Just do this, and you will get this result.
Quick fix, yeah.
Yeah, but life is too fluid to have one technique, one this works, and we never want to confuse the course with a self-help book. The course has no interest in the self that we conflate with the ego. Zero.
In fact, exactly on point. Recently, I kind of got upset because I was looking at a bookstore online, and I was looking, just so I looked up what they had with the Course in Miracles, and they had a description of it which made it sound like a self-help book, and it really annoyed me.
Right.
So I don't think that that's it. But you made a really good point there in that apart from just the quick fixes or just do this and everything will be better. I think also it's fairly common that people, including myself, we want to think, oh, if we just do this or do that, and instead it's to just hand it over. Like it's kind of admitting that maybe we don't know or we don't have that quick fix, and that um and a sort of willingness to yeah, an invite, like what is the better way without saying what that better way is.
Right. A lot of people got turned on to, hey, Willa, the Course in Miracles from the secret and the influx of how to manifest, and people, would ask, is the course, uh, is it you getting a miracle, right? So for me, a miracle would be a Corvette. Is can I use Course in Miracles to manifest a uh, Corvette, or can I heal myself of cancer? Can I do this or do that? Um, and
Not really what it's about, yeah.
the course would say that's magic. There's nothing the matter with using magic as long as you know you're using magic, but that's not what the course teaches. Jesus, who is the author of the course, um, by way of uh,
Helen.
Helen and Bill, um, Jesus says, "I don't care what car you drive, and I don't care what job you have." Um, I love again Kenneth Wapnick pointing out that we are always trying to bring Jesus and God into this world where they don't belong. If they were to come into this world, they would make it real. And it is real in the sense that we experience it as real. We suffer, we have joy, but in the ultimate sense, we are asleep in heaven, and our role is to wake up, and we wake up according to the course. We wake up. Our practice is to wake up through the means of forgiveness, because forgiveness centers us back into the present moment, and the present moment is where we wake up, and where we help other people wake up.
And I think I understand when you say forgiveness, and you've probably gone over this 1,000 times in the group. I don't know, Eric, but I would love to hear what you have to say. Like how would you describe forgiveness?
Um, I probably have a slightly different answer every single time I attempt to. And I love Gerald Jambowski's answer that forgiveness is giving up all hope of a better past.
Forgiveness is giving up all hope of a better past. Okay.
Because we're never going to have a better past.
Hmm.
When we forgive, we're saying whatever grievance, whatever resentment, whatever judgment, whatever hurt, slight, or whatever isn't happening right now. And when we go to that right now, a lot of people think, does that mean I have to love the person that hurt me? Does that mean that I have to um, accept that person back in my life? Does it mean that I don't have boundaries or I don't have this? But again, all that deals with the outer form. Forgiveness, by way of the Course, says set your heart free by being present right now and knowing that, as Jesus said, let the dead bury the dead. So I always equate it to a very, as I mentioned this morning, a very Zen-like returning to the present moment where everything's accepted, everything's love, everything is just, as Ram Dass said, here now.
Mm-hmm.
If you have, a lot of people will hold up a scar. So, well, what about this? This is all about the past. But in the absence of a story, it's just a mark on your arm or wherever. This isn't to diminish that which has hurt us. It's to celebrate the fact that we survived what hurt us and we were given the gift of this present moment. And we want to set ourselves free and not bringing that past over and over and over again that continues to harm us. Pups had a question. Is our ego ever a good teacher?
Is the ego ever a good teacher? I think it's an excellent teacher at teaching how you don't want things to be. So you want to learn, if
Right,
you want to learn how bad it can get, go there. So yeah, it's a really great teacher. It also teaches really well, like, oh, you still have a repository of, guilt and fear, and there's still stuff looming there. The ego will definitely let
right. A good
remind you that
example,
you're not guilt free yet. Right.
right? Good example is, have you ever been in a heated political debate, argument, convinced that you're absolutely right and yelling at a family member, no, 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 you're wrong, or anyone, um, and going back and forth, trying your hardest to convince them that you're right? Have you ever walked away from any of those debates and felt good?
Family member. I've had a family member yell at me for sure. Like, don't want to go, like, flip out,
Right,
because of differences of opinions. And I just let it go. Did I feel good about it? Not particularly.
right. I've never
Yeah.
felt good after a heated attempt of making someone wrong, and
No.
that's how you feel when you choose the ego for a teacher. So, hey, maybe it'll make you someone who can endure a whole lot of pain for a long period of time. And if that's the lesson you want to learn, like you said, an excellent teacher. Um, but if you want to learn to be at peace, you choose peace every time. And it really is, the course is very simple in what it asks you to do, but very hard to put into practice sometimes. Always make a point not to confuse simple with easy, especially
Yeah.
in the beginning.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't think it's easy to look. I don't think the noticing that you've got all sorts of, problems and difficulties and stresses and strains and illusions in general. No, I don't think any of that is like fun to look at
Right.
personally. But, if that's it needs what I need to relinquish it or let it go, so be it.
Lee says, can we forgive, repeat persistent behaviors, or do we have to just convince ourselves we do and approach with caution?
Can we forgive? Well, I want to say something about forgiveness too, because Eric knows this for sure, that how the course is looking at forgiveness is completely different. It's not about seeing something that's not right or that's somehow been judged to be bad and then letting it go. That's not forgiveness according to the course, but I like to think of forgiveness as kind of remembering that the in truth, the truth isn't judging. Any judgments we make those. The truth isn't making them against us, and so if we want to be um, relieved of guilt, our own guilt, then the idea it's like paying it forward. Don't go around judging. But get back to that question. So, is it possible to forgive repetitive behavior? Probably, probably not. I would say not seeing it necessarily as wrong, or rather seeing that there's some judgment that's active there.
Right.
Something's being judged as being not deserving.
I think that we often feel that forgiveness is a one and done deal. Um, that, well, I forgave it, so it's gone, it's over. I can walk away from it. It's a continuous practice. I think Patrick Miller, J. Patrick Miller, wrote some
Mhm.
wonderful books in the course.
Yep.
I'm going to be reaching out to him actually. Um, calls it forgiveness 24/7.
Mhm.
If it comes up, you recognize it and you forgive it. And again, forgiveness, just come back to the present moment, come back to the, in truth, we never leave the present moment, but we're bringing our mind back to, I'd rather be at peace as often as you need to. And forgiving the fact that sometimes you feel like you can't forgive. Um, it doesn't have to be, it's never a set way. It's never, Ms.Blipper, you did this to me. I'm going to go ahead and forgive you. Don't let it happen again. Uh, it is Ms.Blipper, uh, and I can do this in my mind. I'd rather be at peace.
Mhm.
And I give you a smile and I walk away.
Mhm. And it is the ego that's all that interested in guilt. That's like, what's wrong in this situation, or kind of the love of punishment, the love of guilt, the love of sin. There you go. And
Right.
sin just being a lack of love. No, but let's find what isn't right. And I really don't think that that's how God operates. I don't think God's doing that. They just don't.
Our friend, your favorite ice cream flavor,
Mhm.
says, when we forgive, does that mean that we're owning up to something, or is it letting that person off from something they have done?
I think of forgiveness as kind of remembering that I'm not being judged, or kind of agreeing that I don't want to be judged. Like, I just don't want to go down the guilt track. I'd
Right.
rather just see things light, remember a light.
Yeah. Selective remembering.
Hmm.
Um,
There you go.
and so we're basically saying uh, we never have to let anyone off the hook, or letting that person, or owning up to something. Uh, Forgiveness is simply saying time after time after time, I'd rather be at peace. That I'd rather not place uh, my own judgment of what I think you did uh, onto you right now. I don't want to take
Hmm.
my own guilt, my own resentments, my own judgments, and project them onto you. Even if what you did was, even if you did do what you did, I'd rather not, because I'd rather be at peace. I'd rather walk away.
Yeah, I don't want that addiction. I don't want to be addicted to guilt, whether it's guilt about me or guilt about you.
Right. So even if you do suck, I don't want to be. Even if you do suck, I don't want to. I don't want to carry it with me.
Your problem, right?
Exactly. And hey, maybe by me releasing the judgment that you do suck, and I'm a little bit freer, maybe that'll help you
Hmm.
realize
Yeah,
that you
does it help you feel like you suck less? If you like let it go, then
right. Um, so you're not letting someone off the hook on the level of form, but really on the level of spirit, you really are. Because you're saying, I no longer choose to hold you in my own projection of guilt.
yeah, freedom. freedom of guilt projection is like one of the greatest gifts you can give to people.
Oh, Mint Chocolate Chip also says, question, what is the definition of being perfect? Well, I would just point out my friend Ms.Blipper.
Yeah, right. There you go. Right here. Definition of perfect. Um, I would say for me, when you're like wholly whole, you're whole.
Yep. And we can also equate that. What made Jesus perfect? Was he was no different than you and I, except he was fully listening to the Holy Spirit. Well, we only listen when we think it's going to benefit us, or when we've finally been brought down to our knees and we have no choice. Unless the whole thing of course, is a training manual to listen to the Holy Spirit as often as possible. Um,
Yeah, I
and
really don't think Jesus kept anything just for himself. I think anything that he had going on, he was giving it away, all of it. Anything worthwhile, it's like he gave it all. And giving it all away is how he keeps it.
um, exactly. So, definition of perfect is, I think you and I can agree, someone who has fully immersed themselves in the listening to universal inspiration. And that
Okay.
I am far from perfect, and I don't perceive myself there anytime soon. However, I do know, because of the model of Jesus, that it's possible. The only thing preventing me from being perfect is my own belief that the ego still holds an answer.
I'm gonna turn
Um,
my light on just a second. There we go. It's always the same hour here, sundown.
Kat says, what if you should feel sorry for giving into a heated feeling, but you don't?
What if you should feel sorry? Say that again.
Um, what if you should feel sorry for giving into a heated feeling, but you
Mhm.
don't?
Fine.
Uh-huh.
Go with the flow. You know what I mean?
Exactly. Yep. What if we got rid of the word
Sometimes
should?
sometimes you got to look at stuff too. You know, I
Right.
don't have the answer to that question. I really don't. But I would say that that's definitely something to look at.
Yep. My sort of answer would be, who says you should?
That's right. Who's judging it?
Yep. Let go of the judgment that I should feel a certain way, and you're done with it.
Yeah, it's like God's not interested in your feeling guilty about it.
Right. At all. Not even a little bit.
Mm-mm.
God would be like, huh?
Exactly. It's like
Or if we wanted to personalize it, God would be, it's okay. What do we do? What do we do when I'm going to equate the ego to a 3-year-old? What do we do when a 3-year-old or 2-year-old has a tantrum? We don't throw a tantrum in return, and we don't feel bad for. Look at a 2-year-old after a tantrum; they don't feel bad. They're on to whatever's next. You know.
hmm
Um, so in both ways, as a loving parent, we look at the child and say, it's okay. It's just a mistake.
I wanted to say to Kat, Kat, I learned a lot from my cat about things like that. If like my cat got biteitis, my cat doesn't feel guilty about getting biteitis whenever she feels like it. It's like a lot of the fear blame stuff. We're coming up with that.
Right.
So we want to be liberated of that. And so how can we best be liberated by that? Well, call into question the judgment of it in the first place.
Yeah. Or just recognize I'm judging.
Yeah.
It happens. Yeah.
Maybe there's a better way.
Right. Or maybe getting back to what we were saying before, maybe that person actually sucks. Probably not, but maybe. I think we're in agreement. Let yourself off the hook. Love yourself.
I've been really unabashed lately, and I've wondered because you asked about politics or saying what do you do in those family situations. It hasn't been a family situation because my family's overseas, but a couple of times in the last 2 days, um, I've gotten into conversations with random people for random reasons. Like today, it was like with these two grandmas or whatever, and asking me about situations in the U.S., which I don't like at all. And oh, one of them was with a taxi driver, and the other one was with these two grandmas. And in both situations, I just let loose. I just like you know gave out my opinion, and then afterwards, I'm like, "Oops, should I not have that opinion?" I didn't
Right.
really worry about voicing my opinion, but I was like, "Oh, is that a kind of snarky, obnoxious? Am I bad for having that opinion?" Oh well.
In the end, it's just that opinion. It's not who you are. Doesn't define you. Not the real you. Um, and it doesn't hold any ultimate weight outside of the ego, because Holy Spirit doesn't have an opinion. Holy Spirit just accepts and loves, accepts and loves, accepts and loves. So we have an opinion, but we also realize this is the ego, this is the Holy Spirit. I've stated my opinion. I feel heated. I don't feel bad for it, but I turn everything over to the Holy Spirit and I walk away from the whole situation, including the fact that I believe that I should feel a certain way. We don't have to carry anything with us if we don't want to,
Yeah.
but sometimes we do.
Yeah. I mean, I judge things and I try to remember, what is it that, you can find a behavior that you don't like or something that you don't like. It's not the person, but it's, the behavior, that sort of thing. But no, I have opinions. I don't.
Great. Adam wants to know, our friend Percolated Fish, does the
Mhm.
Course ask us to see others in perfect holiness?
Yes. Yeah, it does. Yeah, it does, Adam.
Um,
It doesn't. I mean, it says you have a choice. It's not asking us to do that, but it's kind of bringing out that you have a choice, and you can choose that if you want. You can see every encounter as a holy encounter.
right. And we are asked to see people how they are and who they are. And they are perfect holiness, as we are. And like you said, we have a choice. Do you want to see them through the lens of the ego, in which they are um, pretty messed up? We're seeing ego to ego. Or do we want to choose the Holy Spirit and see them in the essence of who they are?
Hmm.
Um, we can say right there is forgiveness as well. I see that you're human, that you messed up, that you have all these faults, that you're mistaken in so many ways. Same with me on the level of form. However, I choose to see past that selective remembering, and I remember that in truth, you're as holy as I am, or I'm as holy as you are.
Yeah.
Um, and by the way, you make it very easy
Aw,
for me to see my holiness. Thank you.
it's all there,
And what an awesome choice. I love being able to do that. I love the fact that
right?
I've been practicing the course for so long that I have that option. And that even when I forget, I'm always given a reminder. I
Beautiful
never
thing.
have to walk away, as Kat was saying. Um, it does suck to walk away from something and think, I should feel bad for what I just did. Um, just remind yourself that, you know, the ego definitely should feel bad for what it did. Uh,
Yeah, the ego will tell you go with guilt all the way.
right.
Take on all the guilt you possibly can.
But when you choose to see yourself in original holiness, it's smile. That's why Saint Francis, it was said, would always refer to himself in the third person, because he just no longer related to all the little things. He'd say Francisco is hungry. Francisco is tired, because his body, his ego, was hungry, was tired, but he was just pure, this loving force that saw everything in nature as this wonderful springing uh, up of godness. When he saw that almond tree in winter, completely barren, and he said, "Speak to me of God." And in the depth of a barren winter, the almond tree blossomed. So anytime we can see anyone who has given us the barrenness of the ego and say, "Speak to me of God," and watch them blossom right before you.
Yeah, that's an amazing thing. I mean, I think for me, that's part of the lessons in the Course in Miracles that um, I appreciate so much. I appreciate talking here. Um, when you can see in some, and you choose to see somebody else's holiness, you choose to see somebody else's light, you choose to see somebody else sharing the universe of love and light. It's very powerful to me. Gives me a lot of joy. Yeah.
Yes. And that's the great thing about the Course in Miracles. Practicing the Course in Miracles brings me a lot of joy. I have a friend in the upcoming weeks who's going to come up. He is a best-selling author, Timothy Freak. He is uh, not overly keen on Course in Miracles or the present non-duality stance that a lot of people have taken, um, and he never tells anyone what to do or whatever. And I think about our conversation and him asking, "So, why the Course in Miracles?" Because it brings me infinite joy. Just turning to it, knowing that it has instilled within me an ability to choose joy, an ability to recognize the inherent holy innocence of everyone, including myself. And when I forget that, it doesn't change the fact that innocence is still there. We have a
Yeah, I'm
question,
I'm grateful for the options personally.
right?
You
We have
know?
a question just for you. Ms.Blipper, can you become my honorary auntie, please?
Absolutely. I don't know who's asking though.
That was
Who
from Becca Bill.
You betcha, Becca Boo. But you'll have to call me in Italian. You'll have to call me Zia. 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 Zia Blipper.
Kat's got another question. She says, Ms.Blipper, has your studies through the course ever been slowed down, or have you ever felt stuck in the middle of your learning?
That's a really interesting question. Um, I've definitely taken like a hiatus, a break from, immersing myself in the lessons or the text. So I'm not, there have been periods of time, even long periods of time, where I let, my reading go, or I wasn't like on it that way, reading. But I must say that I've always continued practicing the ideas, because I kind of like putting them to the test,
Right.
is this real, this, if I stop in the middle of a frustrating moment and like call on the Holy Spirit inside my mind, will anything really happen? And yeah, but I like to put a lot of the ideas into practice,
Sure.
what of them I can, to see where it goes, because I don't even feel like it's asking me to believe it, but rather to like try it out, see if this
Right.
works.
I like to think of it as there have been times when I've walked away from the course, but I have never walked away from the Holy Spirit.
Yeah, from the ideas.
Right.
Yeah.
Super Champ says, Miss Flipper, what are your thoughts on pew pew pow bang boom?
Pew
Now,
pew bang.
pew pew pow bang boom.
For me, my thoughts on that are I get an image of like a cat riding a dinosaur with a like semi-automatic, and it's like saying that in a caption on a cartoon.
Then the reason he asked you that and not me is because I told him I completely disagreed with his philosophy. There was neither a Zhang, a Zoom, or a Zhao anywhere in there. So obviously it's not a complete philosophy. But he's upset, so he had to turn to you because he wanted some kind of confirmation.
And he got it.
And he got it. He did. I hope you're happy. Super champ.
Shall we go to the fishbowl? We haven't done the fishbowl yet today.
Let's
Love
do
the
it.
fishbowl.
Hey,
Ready
Chef
for the
Mary.
fishbowl.
Definitely a zoinks, sissy.
What did Sissy say?
She said zoinks.
Zoinks.
Yep. If you're
Good
familiar
word.
with Scooby Doo, zoinks is a very important word.
Zoinks. Absolutely. 100%. All right. This is going to be a funny one for us. All right. Says the imperative of today says help them, and in parentheses it says the delusional. So help the delusional by offering them your unified mind on their behalf. I think we're supposed to offer them our unified mind on their behalf here, as I am offering you mine on behalf of yours. So that kind of gets back to what I was saying before when you were talking about Jesus and he like gives it all away, right? It's like have it all. Anything I've got going on, you have going on, or you can have going on, right?
Right.
Giving it away, and that's his way of keeping it. So he gives us everything. And so we're supposed to have like the unified mind thing going on. And we give it to anybody else who wants it.
Um, what are your um, what are your thoughts? Clarification on universal mind.
Universal mind. Beautiful question. All right. So my lesson today is there's nothing I need but the truth. So what I would say about universal mind is that we're capable of making a lot of noise and a lot of procrastination and a lot of deviation from being in the present moment. Um, and it's all kind of silliness, all that. So it's kind of hard to describe, but I would say maybe it's easier to describe by what it isn't. And it isn't all that noise or guilt or fear, but really whatever connects us to creation itself.
I like that. I want everyone to keep that in mind, as because it's perfect for where we're going with this next. Kat wants the definition of delusional through the lens of the Course of Miracles, because delusional for me. Go ahead.
Well, I was just going to say what it's like right-mindedness. It's
Right.
there's right-mindedness and there's wrong-mindedness. And
Yep.
so it's all delusional. Both right-mindedness and wrong-mindedness, they're both delusional. But one is like getting us onto a track towards truth, whereas the other one is sending us in the other direction. It's like getting bad
Right.
directions.
I absolutely love that answer, especially the fact that you did not make a distinction between right-mindedness and wrong-mindedness as both being delusional, because they are.
Mhm.
But as you said, one brings us to the very source of joy itself, and the other just keeps us trapped into the delusion. Delusion is um, anything that sustains the belief that we are separate and that we are in any way removed from the source itself. that we are anything but love. So yeah, it is all delusional. The question is, do you want to stay in the delusion?
Is that what you want to celebrate? Is that what you know?
Right.
I, and it's a really great question because there is a lot of and I hate to say this actually, but there is a lot of teaching in the world which it's like telling us to stay in our delusional mind. You know?
Right. So Dolly says, uh, and O, right mind, and it's very interesting. Who's right and who's wrong?
Who's right and who's wrong? I don't I don't think it's about a who's who. I think everybody's both, but it's what we choose. Which do you choose? This morning I couldn't wake up. This morning, sometimes I wake up in the morning and I'm very peaceful, and sometimes I wake up in the morning and my brain is like chattering, blah 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 blah, all the different information. I gotta do this, I gotta see this, I gotta go here, I gotta remember, da, 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 da. And it's making too much noise. But is that what um is that the part of me that I want to celebrate? No, I like to celebrate the part that's peaceful and kind, even to myself.
Right. I love how the course says, only loving thoughts are real. Everything else is from the ego. The ego is not good or bad. It just doesn't exist. It's not true. It's the delusion of separation, the delusion that we are the creators of ourselves. So um, it's not. It's only the ego that makes the distinction of you're right and someone else is wrong. Only the ego that makes that distinction. The Holy Spirit says you.
Yeah, you just said something really fundamental and can't be said enough. Is like we didn't create ourselves. And there's a lot of teaching, the ego is the one who would like to usurp the part of creation, say, I made this, I do this, I'm it, I'm special.
Right. Hey, Leonard. I liked how the digging into the fishbowl, really nice, seamless way of going into the questions that were asked. Um, are you annoyed that I'm making conversation? Oh, Phoenix, are we annoyed? Not in the least. I appreciate everything that we get to converse about,
Yeah,
every
fun
little bit of
stuff.
it.
Bring it on.
Um, yep. I'm even, you know what? I'm even happy that uh, you took Super Champion's side in the Pew Pew Pao Ping
Yeah,
conversation. I have no grievances whatsoever. It doesn't bother me that both you and Super Champ are wrong.
it's
I'm
okay.
I'm
We're not
I'm
wrong,
okay
we're
with it.
just mistaken.
Just mistaken.
Yeah.
Um, let's see. Ellie says pew pew. See, even she takes Super Champion's side. Um, here's an excellent way of looking at it. Maybe that if only loving thoughts are true, if only loving thoughts are real, that doesn't make unloving thoughts wrong. It just makes them non-existent. They don't truly exist because they're not real. So it's never a matter of right or wrong. It's a matter of true versus not being true.
and and who is letting the Holy Spirit decide that for us? Like, wouldn't I mean, if you wanted to find out what was or wasn't a loving thought, I wouldn't want it to be necessarily my determination of that self-determined. I would rather have it aligned with what it really is.
Right. That's a big thing. Is who are we turning to make that distinction?
Who knows that? Who's got
Right.
that answer?
Um, the ego isn't above or below, as the case may be, using the concept of love to get its way. The ego's pretty insidious. It will, use every
The
little
manipulative
trick.
son of a bitch.
It is. Uh, um,
Ms. Blipper doesn't hold back.
she does not. Ali, you should start doing yoga. That's to me. It's like we stumbled upon something really important here. That how treacherous the ego actually is, and we'll use every little trick, every little thing. Um, it's part of being mindful. Am I choosing what I believe is a loving thought in order to make someone wrong?
Guilt
Yep.
induction.
And if we're making someone wrong, it can't be a loving thought because love doesn't make anyone wrong. Love can't recognize wrong.
Right.
So when we recognize wrong, it means that we are not centered in love. We just recognize love. I don't want to in any way make it sound like that is easy. Because we have been trained to listen to the ego since birth.
Oh,
And of
well,
course,
I take it one step further. I would say that we, even in a sick sort of way, love the ego, right? Because we made it.
right. Um,
Which brings me to the quieter part that you often mention, and I adore it when you mention that spirit is like that soft, quiet voice.
yes. And it is so soothing. I love the fact that the course is mind training. It's training me to choose that quiet voice over and over and over again. Any mistake that I make is part of the training, and it's okay.
Yeah.
Um, it's all okay. So, man, imagine if we could cruise through life knowing that we are. It's okay to choose the wrong teacher because we can always choose again instantly. We don't have to wait. We don't have to say, "Man, I can't wait until I get a do-over." The do-over is right now, in every moment.
I was going to say, I have a friend here in Italy, a neighbor. I have a bunch of neighbors, but one of my neighbors, eh, he has nothing to do with the Course in Miracles at all. But sometimes he calls me. It's really funny. He calls me on the telephone. He's like, "Can we just be silent for 17 seconds?" We both really like to be silent. It's like, and we can do that on the telephone. Just be silent.
Great.
That's like the coolest thing. It's kind of like when you do breathing exercises on YouTube.
We have a request for some breathing.
Oh,
Uh,
cool.
so when we'll wrap things up in just a minute.
Sure.
I love the fact that the course says we say God is, and then we fall silent. Um, because anything that follows afterwards is just a description. So that quiet voice, we always think that we're going to hear the Holy Spirit say, "Hey, you, yeah, you, the one in the glasses." I'm talking to you.
Both have them. Yeah.
We do. Um, Herman Melville, silence is the only voice of God, as he said in Moby Dick. Um,
What do you think though about that thing? Doesn't it? I'll have to look that up somewhere. They're two different things. I have to find somewhere in the course, and one of them I haven't been able to find, and it was like something about the if it isn't love, it's a call to love. That's a way of looking at things. Um, but it was like kind of, it takes a particular kind of eye to be able to see that is most in need of love. Same sort of idea there. People who are struggling or people who are having hard times.
Right. One thing I want to address real quick, and then we'll do the breath work.
Mm.
Kat says, "Thank you, Ms.Blipper. I love you."
Oh, bless your heart, Cat. Love you too. Thank
Um,
you.
Lee's talking to Anna, but I thought we could address it real quick. Um, Says Anna, picking an outfit, getting approval from a mirror, keeping up with latest fashion trends, and trying to maintain a weight could be derived from an ego desire to look amazing, or the pressure. Um,
Asking
so,
me.
well, he
Might
was
might be. I got questions about all of that.
that was a statement Lee was making to Anna, and
Okay.
I just sort of wanted to address the fact it's okay to look good. It's okay to want to look good. It's okay to look in the mirror and say, and I do it every morning. Man, I'm pretty.
I bet you do too.
I slick my hair back and I'm like, I'm looking pretty today.
I want to know how many mornings you go out for your walk and you haven't even looked in the mirror.
99.9% of the time.
You haven't
I, I
even
end up
looked.
I end up looking in the mirror because I'm live streaming 3 times a day and I got my
Right.
face in front of me and I
Right.
look, man, I got a mustache hair that decided to go out on its own.
Hmm.
Leave an entire journey separate from my face. It's like all the way out here. It's crawling around. I need to do something about it. Um,
I
or like,
I have a theory on all of that, which is that if we really look, like it's like I think I've talked to you about this, loving your neighbor as yourself. If you really look at other people as you look at yourself, meaning most people don't go around thinking of themselves as that image in the mirror, you know. That's not when they're walking around their identity, how they're identifying themselves is kind of as an entity, but not a. Most of us don't go around just thinking what other people are looking at or what our image is. I don't think that's first and foremost in most people's minds most of the time. But if we really look at other people as we're looking at ourselves, which is as kind of like an entity, then you both disappear.
right, beautiful. Um, Wrapping it up with that thought of the insidiousness of the ego, always finding that back door in. The ego says, "Look at you admiring yourself." You're not supposed to do that. Who are you? You know what I mean? The ego finds a way to be the ego no matter the situation. That
Any
it'll
way you can feel bad or guilty about yourself.
Yes,
You
exactly.
know?
Such an important thing to remember. If you are feeling bad about yourself, if you're feeling guilty, um, it is it's a gift from the ego. Do you want to accept it? You don't have to accept every gift that you're given. So, to tie it up with, what we're saying about appearance, you can appreciate how you look, um, or what you're wearing. You just never confuse it with who you are. Um, all right, you want to do some breath work with us?
Yeah.
Uh, Dolly had asked for something that might be a little cleansing for the lungs. So we could do something relaxing and cleansing, breathing in through the nose for 4, instead of the way we normally do it, where we exhale through the nose for 8. We're gonna whoosh for 8, but we're not
Okay.
gonna do the breath. We're not gonna do the breath hold. We're gonna breathe in for 4 and exhale through the mouth, pursed lips, tongue on the roof of the mouth, and just like we're blowing out a birthday cake on a cake
For 8.
for 8. Yeah.
Mhm.
You still with us, Dolly? Let me know when you're ready. Have you had the opportunity to listen when Adam comes in to talk?
No, I haven't. Has he been on your live?
Always
No, I haven't
fascinating.
seen him. I haven't seen him on your live yet. Sometimes I watch his videos though because I subscribe to him. So sometimes if I hit, what's kind of the what's going on button, something will come up. So I've seen some of his shorts and videos that he's made, but I haven't seen his lives. I'd like to. What time does he come on?
Um, but he's been coming up on mine once, twice a week.
Okay,
Nothing planned. He was on yesterday. Um,
nice.
and it's always a fascinating conversation. He's always a fun person to talk to with a very unique view, um, but consistent. Um, I think I'd love someday I'll get StreamYard and you and I and Adam, maybe Kat, could all come up and have a conversation at once. Um, it would turn into an ego shouting match.
I like very much to listen to Adam, and I like because he's got a lot. He's been around the block, and he has a very lovely artistic approach, colorful. I love looking at his notebooks and his animals and his garden. Lots going on.
Yep. All right. I haven't heard from Dolly, so hopefully she's here. If not, um, we're still going to do it with her in mind of what we're going to do because we all benefit from it. We are
Good.
going. Um, Adam says, "Thanks, Yogi. I was inside trying to ease the tension." Gotcha, my friend. Dolly's there, so that's okay. So, Dolly, we are going to breathe in through the nose. If you're still with us, to breathe. I hope all is okay with the doctor. We're going to breathe in through the nose. We're going to exhale through the mouth with pursed lips. The tongue's going to be on the roof of the mouth, gently right behind the front teeth. And we're going to whoosh, not in one big whoosh, but slow and steady for a count of 8. So, if you guys would like to, you can close your eyes. And we take an easy breath in through the nose. Hey, Clina, and just let the shoulders drop. And as we drop, all the tension is just going all the way from the neck, the jaw, the shoulders, down through the fingertips, and just falling into the floor beneath us, leaving the body completely. We're going to bring a soft, gentle focus through the nose as we breathe in and through the nose as we breathe out. Just for now. 1, 2, 3 mindful breaths. I'm going to count to 3, and we'll begin our first breath. In through the nose for 4, out through the mouth with a soft whoosh for 8. 1, 2, 3. Breathing in. 1, 2, 3, 4, and whoosh for 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. In for 1, 2, 3, 4. Whoosh for 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. In for 1, 2, 3, 4. Whoosh for 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. In for 1, 2, 3, 4. Whoosh for 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. In for 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale for 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. In for 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale for 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. In through the nose for 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale with a whoosh for 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. In for 1, 2, 3, 4. Whoosh for 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. In for 1, 2, 3, 4. Whoosh for 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Last breath for 1, 2, 3, 4. push, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and relax. Let the breath settle, finding its own easy, natural rhythm. And when you're ready, open your eyes. I'll see you in the chat. Ms.Blipper, thank you so much.
Thank you.
I really, really, really enjoy our Mondays together.
Yeah, it's lovely, lovely. I keep thinking about the part in the course that I like is that it's just sharing, 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 sharing. It's important.
In yoga and Buddhist circles, it's often called a sangha, spiritual community. And I just having someone to talk course matters over with, and then
Right.
at the same time, we get to maybe inspire someone to pick up the course, or even if they never pick the course up, but realize that they have the option of forgiving in any moment.
Right. Letting people, just going, wow, we think you're fine. We don't want to keep you on any guilt hooks. No.
Right. Lee says, Ms.Blipper, thank you for some nice answers there.
Bless your hearts. All
And Anna
right, everybody.
says,
I'm
thank you.
skedaddling.
Me too. My
Bye.
friend Ms.Blipper. Bye. Kat says, thanks for the breath work. You're welcome, my friend. Adam says, I always have to smile when I see you, Ms.Blipper. This evening, my friend Nadie is coming up. She's a force to be reckoned with, guys. She wants to empower you, specifically women, specifically women over 50, women over 60, but specifically women. Here's the great secret, guys. If you support the empowerment of any woman in your life, and any woman, every woman is already in your life. The empowerment of one person is the empowerment of us all. If you support that, you are empowering yourself. Be there for the women in your life who need you. And if you're in doubt, how can I do that? Well, hey, ask my friend Nadie this evening. We're going to talk about all things. I've known her for a very long time. We've had very similar and very different spiritual paths. We're going to catch up with where we've been in our lives, and she's going to tell you all the awesome stuff that she's done, with an invitation to join along her little community, where she's going to help you. She's going to help you find your authentic voice. It's important. And be sure to ask her some questions. All right, we'll talk for maybe an hour and a half. And then don't forget, Sniper, the history of dowsing tomorrow. Don't forget the history of Lucy. How did Lucy, how did her journey go? I have questions for her too. It's going to be fun. Friday, my friend Randy. You ever wonder what it takes to run 100 miles? What does it take to heal yourself from cancer? What does it take to run 100 miles in a pair of sandals? Well, I know you've all asked yourself that. Who hasn't woken up in the morning and went, what's it like to run 100 miles in a pair of sandals? Someday I'll see if I can get my friend Keith to come up, who ran a marathon, set a world's record, the fastest marathon in a pair of flip-flops. His feet were a bloody mess. All right. Hey, Abigail, with that, I'll see y'all later. I love you guys.